Shri Praduvacha. Prahlad Maharaj said, Kumaraha, in the tender age of childhood, Acharet, should practice, Pragya, one who is intelligent, Dharmam, occupational duties, Bhagavantan, which are devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iha, in this life, Durlabham, very rarely obtained. Manusam, human. Janma, birth. Tat, that. Api, even. Adhruvam, impermanent, temporary. Artadam, full of meaning. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete protection. Purport. The whole purpose of Vedic civilization and of reading the Vedas is to attain the perfect stage of devotional service in the human form of life. According to Vedic system, therefore, from the very beginning of life, the brahmacharya system is introduced so that from one's very childhood, from the age of 5 years, one can practice modifying one's human activities so as to engage perfectly in devotional service. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 40, Svalpam apyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bayat. Even a little advancement on the path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Modern civilization, not referring to the verdicts of Vedic literature, is so cruel to the members of human society that instead of teaching children to become brahmacharis, it teaches mothers to kill their children even in the womb, on the plea of curbing the increase of population. And if by chance a child is saved, he is educated only for sense gratification. Gradually, throughout the entire world, human society is losing interest in the perfection of life. Indeed, men are living like cats and dogs, spoiling the duration of their human lives by actually preparing to transmigrate again to the degraded species among the 8,400,000 forms of life. The Krishna consciousness movement is anxious to serve human society by teaching people to perform devotional service, which can save a human being from being degraded again to animal life. As already stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Bhagavad Dharma consists of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarnam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavedanam. If all the schools, colleges, and universities, and at home, all children and youths should be taught to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, they should be taught to hear the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, to put them into practice in their lives, and thus to become strong in devotional service, free from fear of being degraded to animal life. Following the Bhagavad Dharma has been made extremely easy in the age of Kali. The Shastra says, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatir Anyata. One need only chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone engaged in the practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be completely cleansed from the core of his heart and be saved from the cycle of birth and death. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vacha Lampangum Langayate Gadim Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramanandamadavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. So, Prahlad Maharaj in this chapter is speaking to his classmates. Hiranyakasipu has told the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj that this boy has been infected by the consciousness of our enemies, right? He's speaking like a devotee, and Hiranyakasipu didn't like it. He was very upset. So he sent him back to the school, disappointed, to the Gurukul, right? That was the system. The system was you sent the children at young age, right, especially boys, to the house of the spiritual master, the Gurukul, right? And they were taught everything they needed to know, right? Just like we see in the Mahabharata, Dronacharya, he was a Brahmin, but yet he taught the Pandavas and the Kauravas the military science. So they even knew, the Brahmins knew everything. They even knew the science of medicine, military science, whatever it is. Send them to the Brahmins and they'll learn it, right? It's Vaishya, they'll teach them what they need to know, math, everything. That was the system. And the students of the Guru, they performed austerities. They performed penances, right? And Srila Prabhupada said that this is good, that the children learn how to perform austerities at a young age, right? Because children, no matter what it is, they're always happy. Children are happy, right? If they sleep on the floor, if they sleep on a soft bed, doesn't matter. They'll still go and play, right, with their friends. Right? So this young age is the time they should perform austerities. But that's not today. Today is that the children are taught how to engage in sense gratification, right? They're not shown how to be the menial servant. They're training them up how to be bogis, right? Bogis, enjoyers, computer games, waste their time, waste their life. Even Lord Krishna, he went to the house of the spiritual master. Did Krishna need to learn something? He's the source of the Vedas. Vedaischa sarvayar, aham eva I'm the source of the Vedas. What did Krishna need to learn in the ashram of Sandipani Muni? Nothing. He knows everything, right? He's just like the rain cloud. The rain is pouring rain everywhere. In the same way, all knowledge is coming from Krishna. But yet he went to the house of the spiritual master. just to show how important it is. It's important, right? To become the menial servant and perform austerities in tapasya, right? And then, as the brahmacharis get older, they may enter in the household life, or they may not enter in the household life. Mostly they enter in the household life. 99.9% they enter in the household life. But by that brahmachari training, they become the proper householders. They see household life not as a means of sense gratification, but rather as a means for spiritual upliftment. Right? This idea, a modern idea, that school is meant so that you can learn so many subject matters, and in that way you'll earn lots of money and enjoy life. Isn't it? That's the idea. About the higher purpose of life, what human life is actually meant for? Nothing, zero. Bombay University, there's no department of what the purpose of human form of life is. How does one become successful? What is success of the human form of life? Zero. Only idea is, take this, what do you call, degree, PhD, MA, MD, wagada wagada, right? And become a dog. Yes, you become dog. What is a dog? A dog, there's two kinds of dogs. One is a street dog and one is a dog who has a master, right? In Juhu Beach, you see so many dogs. They're living, they don't have master, they're fighting for food. But the other dogs that are on the leash, they have master. Food is coming, they're taking care so nicely. They're even cleaning the after stool, right? So nicely. So the dog with the master is better, right? In the same way, I take my certificate. Can you become my master? No, in that corporation, Microsoft. No? You go to Infosys. Can you become my master? Can you become my master? Can you become my master? Life of the dog, right? This is not human life. This is not human life. This is polished animal life, right? Those enjoyments that are available for sense gratification are also available in the animals, lower animals, dogs, hogs. Hogs are not eating, they're eating. If human life is just about having a family and nothing more, that means pigs are the best of all humans, because they can have, a human being can have one child, a lady has one child, maybe two. But the pigs can have 5, 10 at one time. So they're better if family life is everything. Here Prahlad Maharaj is instructing his classmates. The family life is not everything. That's available even for hogs and dogs and cats, right? There's some higher purpose to life. But in order to understand that, one has to be trained. Without training, you cannot do it. You can't understand. Training is required. Therefore, one must take instruction from the spiritual master in order to be trained. How to, as Prabhupada mentioned, how to see God, right? God is there. It's not that God is not there. God is there. But we don't have the vision to see. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. Where to get that ointment, right? That comes by serving the Vaishnavas, by serving the spiritual master, by performing devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarnam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanvedanam. One becomes purified so that one can see the Lord directly, face to face. This is the goal of life, right? So the brahmacharis going to the house of the spiritual master, the example even of Krishna, who went to the ashram, and he was in the forest collecting wood for the yajna, the sacrifice performed by the spiritual master, right? Collecting wood. It's even mentioned in the Upanishads that spiritual life means collecting wood. Krishna set the example as the menial servant with his friend Sudama. They went to the forest, and there was so much rain that came, and they got stuck all night in the flood. And the next day, Sanipani and the other Guru Kulis, they went and they found out Krishna and Sudama and how they had been in the rain and the flood, in the freezing cold rain. And he very much appreciated the efforts of his students, right? In the same way, Srila Prabhupada has given us the same process. Same process. We have to perform austerities, we have to do some penance. Tapo divyam puttakatina sattvam sudyad yashmam brahmasopyam. If you want to experience the bliss of spiritual life, then you must tapo divyam. Tapo, tapasya. So what is that tapasya? We see that Srila Prabhupada gave us the instruction that you please distribute my books, right? Distribute my books. And certainly if you try to distribute books, there'll be some tapasya, right? To go out, meet people you don't know, give them a book, try to convince them to take a book and give a donation, right? Little tapasya, right? But why is Srila Prabhupada is insisting on that, right? Because it's the process. What are books made out of? Paper. Where do you get paper from? Wood. So what are you carrying? You're carrying the wood. Just like Lord Krishna carried the wood for the sacrificial fire. And what in this age, what is that sacrifice? Yagnai sankirtana prayi yajanti hi sumedasa. The sankirtan yagya. So this is the prescription, right? To try to enlighten. And the conditioned souls, they need to hear this. Otherwise, they have no hope. They have no chance. They're doomed. They're doomed. What are they doomed to? What are they doomed to? It looks like they have a Mercedes car, right? A nice bungalow, and they have a nice bibi and a bacha. What do you mean they're doomed? They got everything. No, they're doomed. Although they've gotten this rare human form of life, all their materialistic activities are completely useless, Prahlad Maharaj says, because again after this life, they have to go down. into the animal species of life, where there's no chance to understand about Krishna. But if a Vaishnava takes mercy on them, shows them mercy, gives them some transcendental knowledge, right, in the form of Srila Prabhupada's books, the direction of their life is changed. No more they're completely changed. Srila Prabhupada explains that their mortal life, their materialistic life becomes mortally wounded. Mortally wounded. What does that mean, mortally wounded? If you become wounded, there's two kinds of, one is a superficial wound, right, that will heal and you'll be okay. But if you get a mortal wound, that means you have to die. It's like getting shot in the stomach or get shot in the heart. It's over. Okay? In the same way, when they get one of these transcendental literatures of Srila Prabhupada, they give a donation, their materialistic life is mortally wounded. It means it'll be over one day. When, we cannot say, but it'll be over. So easy is the process for avoiding sinking down into the materialistic cycle of birth and death. Sometimes as a cat, sometimes as a dog, as a pig, right? Now they found that in Assam, they have swine flu. Right? Swine flu is there, so they're killing all the pigs. Thousands of pigs they killed, slaughtered. Culling it's called. This is the fate of so many people, so-called gentlemen, right? And they're so unfortunate that even though Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made the process so easy to come to Krishna consciousness, if you ask them, my dear sir, you're very intelligent, you're very learned, you have so many nice degrees, and you have such a nice family background, so many nice positions. Now you please forget all that and just take to this chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. What will be their reply? I have no time. No time. In this way they sink down deeper, and they have time for making money, right? Because for the materialist, making money is as sweet as honey, making money, right? For that they have so much time, night and day, right? People that are playing the stock market, they have on the television, the stock prices, 24 Ganta, even at night they keep it on, and they sleep. Wake up in the morning, what's the price of gold? High, upper, lower, sell, buy, continuously, right? Because making money is sweet as honey for the materialist, right? But whatever they do with that money for sense gratification, it's all useless waste of time. They may have built a huge empire and be so famous and be so well respected and have so many degrees, but when they leave the body, it's all behind, Prahlad Maharaj says. So they wasted their time. The human form of life is obtained after so many different species. 8,400,000 species, you get a human body. But once they get the human body, they spend, Prahlad Maharaj explains, 12 hours every day sleeping. Now, mostly people sleep 8 hours, but if you calculate how much time they waste also, it's kind of like what is sleeping? Sleeping is a dreaming state, right? So maybe 8 hours they're sleeping. In Maharashtra, they have one saying, right? That if you can sleep in the early morning hours, that is Parama Anand. Parama Anand. But the rest of the time, they're also sleeping in the sense they're watching TV, they're playing video games, they're, reading the newspaper. It's like a dream. Yesterday's newspaper, who reads it? Right? It's kachara. Throw in the kachara daba. They want the fresh newspaper, the new kachara. Simply dreaming, falsely. And then they want to play in childhood. 20 years go like that, studies and play, cricket, right? And old age, they become old, this hurts and that hurts, and invalidacy, right? And whatever time is left, that time is spent for sense gratification. Therefore, in this verse, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, avoid this right from the very young age, right? Generally, people think, I'll be spiritual when I get old, right? I'll be spiritual when I get old. But it never happens, right? They work very hard for their family, right? The children grow up, and the children have their own families, right? And then their children come and say, you please watch my baby. We'll go to the movies. But it never ends. It's set up in such a way that it always will be some kind of diversion, right? Therefore, brahmacharya life is important for training, so that one doesn't become diverted from the goal, from the purpose of the human form of life. And that's what Prahlad Maharaj is telling his friends here. Because without that training, only a devotee can understand God. When Hiranyakasipu wanted to kill Prahlad Maharaj, he tried to kill him in so many ways, but he couldn't. So he asked Prahlad, where did you get your power? And Prahlad answered, from the same place you get your power, Father, from God. And Hiranyakasipu became furious. Show me that God. Where is your God? And he took out his sword. And he said, is God in this pillar? And Prahlad, looking at the pillar, and just to protect his devotee, Lord Nrsingadev appeared in the pillar. Prahlad could see him. He said, yes, Father, God is in the pillar. And Hiranyakasipu took his sword and struck the pillar with all his might. And the pillar cracked with such a tumultuous sound. All of the demons became afraid. They never heard such a sound before. And from the pillar arose Lord Nrsingadev in his form of half man, half lion. Right? Immediately Hiranyakasipu, he understood that this is God and he's come to kill me, so therefore I must fight with him. Right? This is the foolish conclusion of the demons. Right? They think they can fight with God. When the devotee sees God, he surrenders, falls down, surrenders. My dear Lord, please protect me. But the demons, what do they think? Hut. Right? Ahankar, Ahankara vimudatma. So he took his sword and he took his shield, and he was trying to fight with Lord Nrsingadev, right? He couldn't bear to look at the effulgence of the Lord. It was so bright, right? And Lord Nrsingadev scooped him up like Garuda scoops up a snake, right? And sometimes, have you ever seen a cat kill a mouse? Before they kill the mouse, sometimes they let it go. They play a little bit. They let the mouse go, and then they catch it again. Let him go, catch it again, right? So Lord Nrsingadev did that with Hiranyakasipu. He let him go. And then Hiranyakasipu thought, oh yeah, now I'll kill him. And the demigods and the heavenly planets, they went, oh, right? The demigods are not pure devotees. So sometimes they think this way, that way. But in the next second, the Supreme Lord again scooped up Hiranyakasipu, set him on his lap, and with the nails of his hands tore the demon apart. And he was finished within a second. Then all the demons' followers, they came to attack Lord Nrsingadev. And he killed them all. So Indra and all the demigods and the heavenly planets, headed by Lord Brahma, were all relieved that the big demon Hiranyakasipu was finished. So, on this day of Lord Nrsingadev's appearance day, as Srila Prabhupada was mentioning, we should learn that we are meant to be with God. We're not meant to be a competitor of God. We're not God. How we can compete with God, right? As soon as you want to do something materialistic, whatever it is, from that moment you have to suffer. Whatever you want in any materialistic endeavor, immediately you have to suffer. Kanchiti, na kanchiti, hankering, na sochiti, lamentation, soon as. So it takes training to become, have our consciousness corrected. It takes some training. And this Krishna consciousness is meant to give us that training, right? Give us that training so that we will stop trying to compete with God and surrender to God. And in that way, we actually become happy. Happiness, everyone wants to be happy. The Lord is Anandamaya Brihasat. He's unlimitedly happy. Right? And if we reestablish our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord, as Prahlad Maharaj did, then we can obtain, right now from our conditioned state, it seems unobtainable because we're conditioned. We're conditioned souls. We've been trained like little demons. Hiranyakasipu is a big demon. We're small demons, right? And that we deny the existence of God, or we don't see God, so we don't believe in God, right? So sometimes we think that it's a very unobtainable position to again see God, to become purified enough to see God. But for the devotee of the Lord, nothing is unobtainable. Look at the life of Srila Prabhupada. He went to America at the age of 70 years old, right? Almost 70, right? And he started this Krishna consciousness movement that spread all over the world. An amazing thing, right? So nothing is impossible for the devotee of the Lord. The problem is how to become a devotee. And the process is there, surrendering by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If we continue to chant with the idea of surrendering to Krishna, not what I want. It's not what I want. I want this, I want that. So Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Not like that. It's what you want, my Lord, me to do. What do you want me to do? Right? If I have my own program, I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that and I'm, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It won't work. We're not doing puja. Prahlad Maharaj, after Hiranyakasipu was killed, the Lord told him, you take something. I'm very happy with you. Take some benediction. The Lord was so angry, the demigods were afraid to go too close. They pushed Lakshmi Devi in front, thinking that, okay, here's his wife, and when he sees his wife, he'll settle down. He was so angry. Lord Nrsimhadev had killed Hiranyakasipu, and his anger was so great he could have destroyed the whole universe. So how to pacify him, they thought. Okay, we'll put Lakshmi Devi. But when Lakshmi Devi came in front of Lord Nrsimhadev, she never saw her husband so angry. And maybe this is my husband, maybe this is not my husband. And being the chaste lady, the chastest of all ladies, she didn't go forward. Maybe not. So then the demigods thought, now what to do? So they pushed forward Prahlad. Right? And immediately, upon seeing Prahlad falling at his lotus feet, the Lord became pacified. Such is the power of the Lord's pure devotee. But the Lord said, take something. Take some benediction. And Prahlad said, my dear Lord, we're not baniyas that we are doing devotional service to take something. We're chanting your holy name. We're doing your devotional service. We're completely satisfied. That's enough. We don't need anything. Nothing. This is the mentality of a pure devotee of the Lord. They don't require anything. They have everything because they have the holy name. They have love for Krishna. This is the goal. One in this consciousness can do so many things to serve the Lord. Right? But still, Lord Nrsimhadev, he insisted, no, you take something, just something you take. He said, all right, if you want to give some benediction, then you please deliver my demoniac father. Right? So that same father was trying to kill him a few moments before, right? Because he was a devotee. The demons can't stand, the devotees. If you try to chant the holy name, they say, hey, stop the microphone. Why you're chanting here? Go there. Demon. Right? If you try sell books, no, not allowed. Go. Demon. They don't like. Right? But see the mentality of the devotee. Prahlad, please deliver my demoniac father. So we should, on this day of the appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev, develop some resolve to become devotees. That's the goal. We should approach the Lord, help me become a devotee. To give up all these unwanted desires for this thing and that thing, whatever it is. And only my dear Lord, what you want me to do, that's what I want to do. Nothing else. And then we'll be successful in this human form of life. We'll be protected by the Lord. We won't sink back down into the animalistic life, and we'll be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Nrsimha Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.